Good day everyone. Today I'm going to talk about how to answer diagrams in the IELTS listening exam. The diagram could be found in all sections of the exam. So today we're going to talk about acid rain. Now you have here a picture of an acid rain process, and in your notes there you could take a look at number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay, and one technique that you could use in this diagram process is predicting the possible parts of speech or words that would be used in the blank. For example, in number 1, we have here the preposition. Let's read first the first line. Sulfur dioxide emissions from blank and smelters. Now we know that after the preposition you could use a noun, or sometimes you can have an article, an adjective, or sometimes a noun after. Okay, so that is the first one. And then for number 2, you could have, let's read, nitrogen oxide emissions from car exhaust, and after and, you have to take note of the word beforehand. You have exhaust, so we know that after and, there would be a noun after. And then for number 3, combine with elements in the atmosphere and form plus noun. You get a noun after that. Okay? So for number 4, we have wet deposition. Now from the picture itself, you can see that there is a rain cloud and there is a rain there, of course. So rain, and then after that, what do you need? Probably you need a noun. Okay? And then for that you have dry deposition. Examples of that, you have dust or snow, and then you have pollution in the rivers and trees. One technique that you could use in this diagram is the flow of the ideas. So how do you do it? You do it by what? By following the arrows. So in here, start with number 1, and then number 2, and then it goes to that, number 3, number 4, and so on. Okay, now that we know the general idea and what to write in the diagram, we will now listen to the actual listening part.
Hi everyone, how are you all? I'm fine, thanks. Track 17.
Hi, Roger.
Debbie, hi, how are you?
Oh, I've been struggling with my natural earth assignment. It's proving to be really difficult.
The one for Professor Black? Me too. I'm writing about volcanic activity. What are you doing yours on?
Acid rain. I thought that would be okay, but the process is really complicated.
Well, I can help you with it. I know a lot about acid rain. I studied the causes and effects last year.
Really? Oh, that's great. I've done some work on the causes. I'm going to write that acid rain is caused by sulfur dioxide from power plants and smelters. Basically, this...
Okay, so did you have the keyword, or you heard the keyword sulfur dioxide emissions, or sulfur dioxide? I'll play that again.
For Professor Black? Me too. I'm writing about volcanic activity. What are you doing yours on?
Acid rain. I thought that would be okay, but the process is really complicated.
Well, I can help you with it. I know a lot about acid rain. I studied the causes and effects last year.
Really? Oh, that's great. I've done some work on the causes. I'm going to write that acid rain is caused by sulfur dioxide from power plants and smelters.
So did you hear that? You have sulfur dioxide and smelters. So the answer for number 1 would be power plants. Okay, that's it. And then let's go to number 2.
this reacts in the atmosphere to form acid rain.
Ah, but it's not just sulfur dioxide. It's also nitrogen oxides.
Really?
Yes, from things like car exhausts.
But aren't nitrogen oxides also caused by natural events too?
Yeah,
Okay, so you have the, and here, natural events. Okay, let's go to number 3. Now before we go to that, elements, we have the keyword elements and atmosphere, and then the verb form. We have also the verb combine.
minor factor, but I think they're worth mentioning. But sorry, carry on.
Thanks. I might add that. So anyway, these emissions react in the atmosphere with water, oxygen, and oxidants to form acidic compounds like sulfuric.
So you have form acidic compounds. Okay, now let's go to this one. We have wet deposition and dry deposition. So let's focus on wet deposition, and then your keyword is rain, and then deposition and wet.
These compounds then fall to Earth.
Are you going to mention the different ways they return to the ground?
Do you mean wet and dry deposition?
Yes. So you've done a bit of background reading then?
Yes. So if I got it right, acid rain often comes down as rain, but also as snow or fog.
Okay, so rain, snow, or fog. Okay, take note of that, because sometimes in the blanks you will have 3 words. Okay, continue.
I'm also going to define it as any form of precipitation that removes acids from the atmosphere.
Yes, I think that's a good term to define it.
Dry deposition. Well, I think that's when the
Okay,
pollutants
so that's it.
stick to the ground through dust.
Okay, so here, for number 1, we have the answer, power plants. Okay, so keywords, sulfur dioxide emissions, and then smelters. Smelters, by the way, are, places where they get the what? The metal out of the ore, or from the coarse metal. And then you have nitrogen emissions from car exhaust. You have and natural events. That's the answer for number 2. And then for number 3, we have combined with elements in the atmosphere and form acidic compounds. Now the possible answer here would only be compounds. It's also possible. And then for wet deposition, you have snow or fog. So you see, in the IELTS listening exam, you don't really need to understand everything. But the important thing is that you can, get the general idea. And after that one, you just get the keywords. And then try to predict the possible answers that would be used. Okay? So that's it for today. Thank you very much.